Whoa! It's the Illusion reporting from somewhere on Spaceship Earth. I got Owl in the background there. He's just kicking it. So we did our big supply run down to town, Bakersfield, and yeah. And now we're back. We're heading back home. But so kind of a couple interesting just field notes. So we went to the Chinese military base where you buy your construction materials, right? And I was in there and you had to get a bunch of stuff. And so I got in this 8-foot piece of 3-inch PVC pipe, dude, right? And I remember seeing the price being like, wow, man, that is expensive, dude. So whatever, we had a bunch of stuff. We had to like kind of ran up a big bill. And I was at the register and Owl's doing all the scanning and, you know, we're doing our thing. And then at the end, like I'm looking at, it was like the last things I ran up were my pipe. And I had 2 different kinds, right? And so the one that was the big one ran up for like, I don't know, 15 bucks, which was, you know, 1/3 of the price. And I was like, oh, it's weird. So I looked at the receipt and I was like, oh, it rang it up as a 2-foot section. And so I was like, whatever, dude. Like, I'm racking up a huge bill and all this. And I'm thinking, you know, at this, good angel, bad angel talking on my shoulders. And bad angel's like, dude, like good angel's like, dude, that's like, you don't want it, like, dude, what are you doing? Like, that's not being honest, and that's stealing and this and that. And so I rang it all up. I was still, bad angel was running the show. So I rang it up, I paid, and then I stood there, right, at the precipice of the, at the moment. And I was like, dude, so I waved over the cashier, because I was doing the self-checkout thing, right? I waved over the cashier, and he's like, yep. And I go, look, man, it rang it up as the 2-foot section, and it's a full section, and it's not the right price. And he just looks at me and he goes, did you scan this barcode right here on this pipe? I go, yes, I did. And then he goes, as far as I'm concerned, that's the price, man. And he's like, have a nice day. And I was like, all right. And it was that thing where like the relief was like, it was just again another test in the matrix of like, where am I at with it all, right? Like all I had to do was check in with the authority there, which was the dude in charge of the whole scene. It was just like, bro, it's good. Like, I ain't doing anything about it. Like, see ya, bye. And so I was like, okay. Like, I did my due diligence. I tried to like correct the error in the whole thing, and I went through the whole internal debate, and you know, honesty prevailed, right? It's not on me. So I'm doing this thing, right? And I'm thinking about like the principles of like principles. People who don't have any principles practice these principles of all of our affairs, right? And it's just like funny. It's like, you know, everybody's like about the Federal Bureau of Investigation, right? And they're like, oh, now all of a sudden that they're coming out to the Orange Man. They're like, those dudes are bad. We need to disband them. And all the lefties are like, yay, feds. And it's just like, none of these people have any principles. None of these groups of people have any principles, dude. Because James Earl Ray was a scumbag set up by the FBI. J. Edgar Hoover was a scumbag who set up the FBI with his dossiers on the Kennedys and King. And, you know, it's pretty arguable that the big game ender for MLK was the FBI, right? So, you know, this group has been as scumbags forever. But then again, you go, there's like a good element to it, as like, you know, these guys are busting like real like scummy low life pedos and weirdos, and then you got Mulder and Scully are FBI agents, dude. So it's like, you know, The X-Files, baby. But what I'm getting at is like, I was thinking again, is just how like nonsensical it all is, because based upon like whatever way the wind blows and whoever's, you know, under the thumb, whichever side is like rah, 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 which goes against their principles. Like, you know, it's that thing. You're never going to get me to support war, right? You're never going to get me to be a real, like, that fired up about the metropolitan police forces. Yeah, I'm down with the sheriffs. You know, I'm down with a certain element of legal protection, but I'm not for all these other crazy laws either. Like it's that thing where like people want to use like the laws against their enemies that they wouldn't want used against them. And I see that as like the rot of the American way, you know, the Patriot Act, and like, oh, we'll just throw out the civil liberties for these dudes because they were like, you know, supposedly like terrorists or whatever. So, you know, under the guise of terrorism, dude, all laws are suspended. Well, you know, just wait till they point their finger at you and go terrorist. Thought crime. And so here we are, you know, at this juncture where, yeah, you got to stand in the line for a minute and you got to go through the whole debate and you got to decide what kind of human being you're going to be, dude, right? And then once you decide that you're going to take the high road, the honest road, that's when the universe is in charge again, dude. And you're like, all right, here, let me take it before the authority. And the authority's like, dude, whatever. Because that's the way it is. It's all a consent thing, right? It's all consent. So you're just watching this interesting time right now where everybody's like put all their marbles or eggs or whatever you want in whatever basket you want to talk about into like something's gonna happen in November, like these dudes are gonna win or these dudes are gonna lose and it's all gonna change or it's not gonna change. And it's like, dude, the thing already happened, man, so long ago, dude. And it's just like, yeah, we're living in a failed state. We're living in a conquered country, dude. You know, we're living in a country that's turned its back on God, and the whole concept of how you run this country amicably is based upon like godliness, dude. That was the big test. Again, that was the test in the metaphysical line at the supermarket with running a country, is like, can you be honest? Can you be honest at the buzzer, or are you going to use the freedoms given to you to bring the hammer down on someone else? You know, that was like what happened is, you know, everybody turned their freedom over to an entity and stopped being of the people, by the people, for the people. And we're just like, it's for the people, dude. That's not going to be of the people. I'm not going to participate. I'm just going to go about my, you know, my ball sports fantasy leagues and my, you know, my self-indulgent whatever it is. And I'm not going to participate in community, and boom, and then it all falls apart. And then it's like, well, I got it. Some sort of third party's got to bring the hammer down on these guys, dude. And then it's just, you know, that third party, which, you know, their main product they sell is violence. Like, what do you think the feds and the IRS and the coppers and all these military and DEAs and ATFs and Border Patrol, what do you think their product is they sell? It's violence, dude. It's violence hidden under the thing of something's written down on some piece of paper called a law. Well, you know, all laws are not just, right? You know, so, but you know, if you don't have any principles to stand up for the deeper truth, then you got some weird situation where, you know, a dude with a funny mustache can take over the whole show and get some real funky stuff going on, dude. And it all really does. It all starts at standing at the moment, ringing up some pipe at the Chinese military base where you buy your construction materials and being like, well, you know, I paid so much for this anyhow and it's way overpriced, but they owe me. And then you just go, no, dude, that's not principled. That's not the way it works. So you gotta flag the dude over and be like, look, this is wrong. Like, this isn't like what the price is. And I kicked the ball to him. And that's just some dude who's just like, dude, this whole place is a scam too. So just take your pipe and leave, man. Like, you're good, dude. You're good. And so, I mean, that's where I'm getting at. So, you know, when I hear everybody all like, all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, wow, dude, the FBI's a bunch of like creepers too. Let's not forget what was going on with down at the Bundys in southern Nevada. Remember that? Like 6 years ago when they were standing up for themselves on horseback, upside down flags, you know? It's not, you're not a conservative if you're pro-federal government law enforcement, dude. And you're not a liberal if you're pro-federal government law enforcement. And you're not woke if you're for pro-federal government law enforcement. The only people that are for pro-federal government law enforcement are a bunch of totalitarian fascists, dude, who have, by the way, let the criminals run rampant so they can justify the pro-federalist federal government law enforcement. These are self-feedback loops, dude. These are feedback loops, dude. There is no real crime going on except people just not being principled, right? And once you let your principles go in one place, they go in another place, dude. Like, life's very much about taking these moments and being like, what is a program of thorough honesty, right? Like, yeah, what is a program of thorough honesty? I scanned the barcode. The price came up wrong. I was like, it's winning my side. And then I truly thought down on the metaphysical level and go, dude, I take this pipe outside of the store, dude, with the wrong, knowing that I scammed the system, I lose. I lose for some chump change, right? So what did I do? I stood there, dude, at the jumping off point, dude, and with complete abandon, I called for comfort and care, dude, and protection, and flagged the dude over. And he looked at it and just pointed, you scanned this barcode right there? I said, yes. He said, that is good enough for me, man. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. Take it. See ya. Bye. Adios. You don't need no further conversation about this. You can go now. So what I'm getting at is part of the rot of America is the fact that the conservative or magatard or Q-tard don't have any more principles than the woke liberal loonies either, dude. That's the thing. They will both use the color of law to smash their opposition, dude. So yeah, don't think it's going to be any better in November if there's some sort of red tidal wave, bro. It'll just be this group of people using it not against you, dude. Why do you think they're installing like 87,000 extra IRS agents, dude? What? You think that isn't a big sign? You think those things aren't going to be evenly distributed across all party lines, dude? Come on, man. That's for everybody, dude. That's federal law enforcement's for everybody, my friends. So you shouldn't be cheering for it, dude. You shouldn't be cheering for it. And that's the whole thing. Orange Man is just a full-on setup for the clueless, just to be like, yeah, rah, 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 or whatever, rah, rah, rah. And that's the thing, you know, you got one side that's like, oh yeah, dude, that dude should be jailed. And the other guys are like, no, it's a criminal government. And it's like, no, how about everybody get together and realize this entire system of government has failed us because we've failed ourselves, dude. The reason America's falling apart is not because of liberals, dude. It's not because of magatards, dude. It's because each and every one of us has abdicated our authority and compromised ourselves because we refuse to stand on our principles all the way through. Because one group supports, like, yeah, dude, it's like go and turn those dudes in some island and off the coast of Cuba, dude, or on the tip of some island in Cuba. Whatever, you get what I'm saying, dude. Like, Guantanamo Bay was the spiritual and moral test of America, dude. And we failed it, dude. All leaders have failed it ever since. Orange Man didn't shut it down. Obama didn't shut it down. Nobody shut it down, dude, because you know what, at the end of the day, dude, that is like some sort of token for them to just know, dude, that Americans will allow a bunch of dudes to sit in orange jumpsuits with gloves on their hands and earmuffs and blindfolds on, kneeling in the hot sun, dude, because they've been labeled this or they've been labeled that, dude. You know, it's a pretty sad state of affairs if you ask me, dude. But then again, it doesn't really matter what they do if you're the one perpetrating the own personal crime. You know the difference between right and wrong. Al, do you know the difference between right and wrong? Yeah. You know when you've done wrong, don't you? Well, you didn't do anything wrong today, so.
Yeah, well, I'm tired and I can't remember the
He's tired, dude. We've had an extra long day down in the thing, dude.
I went really disappointed.
Yeah. Well, you should be stoked you just stumbled into one today anyhow.
What?
So anyway, yeah, what?
What?
You stumbled into one anyhow. Like we turned the corner and there it was. And then it's like, you know, it's just like how other things work too. So I went to go get an oil change today, right? Like oil change and tires rotated, the whole thing. And I had to get a new battery recently, right? And so the gal's like, yeah, your battery's testing low and you might want to take it. And I'm like, it got me all like bummed at first. And I was like, and so I was like, I'm going to go to the O'Reilly Auto Parts because I got it at O'Reilly's like 6 weeks ago. So I pulled in and I talked to the nicest kid, dude. The nicest kid, and he came out with this tester and he's like, the battery's fine, let me test your alternator and your starter and like run all he had his little diagnostic thing with them, dude. And he's like, all your stuff checks out good, dude. This kid Dylan, dude, he was one of us and he didn't need to be one of us. He was just super positive. I go, you're a super positive influence. He's like, dude, I got no reason to be negative, dude. That's for everybody else, dude. I'm staying positive. I get up every day and I'm stoked. And I was like, you know what? It was worthwhile to come over here to O'Reilly Auto Parts just to talk to you for 5 seconds, dude, and be like, wow, dude, you're a beacon of light in this crazy mixed up world, dude. So again, it's the opportunities there for us at all times to get to the higher reality, dude. But it's that thing. We have to face our own darkness. Yeah. We are constantly at the precipice, constantly at the turning point, and we have to call for protection and care with complete abandon from God, dude. We have to go to God with all of these things. And we know the difference between right and wrong. We know the difference between principles. We know the difference between right and wrong. That's how they're stealing from us, dude. You can't keep anything if you're a thief, dude. It's just the way it works, dude. Don't commit crimes while you're doing crimes. Rule number 1 of being a criminal, dude, right? I don't know what that has to do with being honest, right? But I guess that is. It's the principle of like we're all sinners, right? We're all sinners. So if you admit you're a sinner, you already know the first crime. So why are you committing any more crimes? Because you can't get around that first crime until you come to God and admit the truth, right? And then you're saved. And then once you're saved, you're not supposed to be going around committing more crimes, dude. That's the thing, right? Don't commit crimes while you're committing crimes. Your first crime is you're fallen, dude, and you haven't gone to God and cleared that up. And once you do that, you wouldn't need to commit any crimes because there's nothing here anyhow. This is all just a crazy fantasy, dude. Crazy fantasy! Woohoo! Crazy fantasy, bird. Yeah, can you get a woohoo? Anyway, it's The Illusion signing off. Smash that like button, PayPal links, crypto links down below. Get some t-shirts, get some hats. But you know, the most important thing you can do is just go use the name tags, be nice to people, man, and be the forgiveness you hope to receive. Peace.